Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's stream, Friday night stream, as usual. We've got the usual panel. We have got Sam from, I'm going to say this, Life Afterlife ITC Research. We have got Julie from Unearthly Wanderings.
Hello.
And we've got Deb from Deb, because Deb still hasn't done her channel. Right.
Well, I tried. Never mind. It's an off the stream. Good evening, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Right, tonight we're going to do old school methods of investigation. We're going to talk about things like pendulums, dowsing rods, compasses, chalk, all the really old stuff. Hopefully Sam can tell us some of the earlier stuff regarding ITC, which should be interesting. We can do some examples, things like I've got a pendulum here. People can join in at home as well if they want to do things like automatic writing, because we can try that as well, because that's another old one. So if you want to join in on that, you just need to get a pencil and paper by yourself, or a pen and a paper. And basically you just sit there with your hand on the paper, just totally ignore it while you're watching the stream. And if your hand wants to do anything, let it do it and just don't look. So is there anything you lot want to talk about? Anything exciting been going on in your lives before we make a start? Sam, what you been doing this week?
Trying to sort out my car. My car's broke down in Rachel's house, but that's holding us back from getting out and stuff like that. So, and I've been recovering from a bit of a bad spell in my head, but I'm fine, you know.
Right.
But
okay.
Hopefully get out soon. You know, the weather's getting good. You know.
Have you managed to get in touch with the mechanic yet to get it sorted? Hi, Jays.
Rachel's looking into it because it's actually in Rachel's house, and you know, when she's working now and again, so she's the key, so she can organize times and stuff like that. So hopefully it's not too bad, you know.
Yeah, because I remember you said to me last week you were worrying it might have been the onboard computer, weren't you?
Yeah, it may be a fuel delivery now as well. I don't know. You know, electronics it's kind of complicated. But other than that, I've been doing my ITC recordings as I usually do. I have a very big, extended, long experiment over on a second channel sort of thing where I do a session every day and, document it and gather all the results together, see what comes up. You know?
So are you gonna try? Oh, I'm glad you can hear the stream a bit better tonight, Jace. His hearing's obviously getting a bit better. That's only because he's been told he's got to go and talk to the hearing aid people on Monday. That's why he's claiming that. So we've got our fingers crossed for that. They may, it may sort itself out a bit better before then. So,
absolutely.
Sam, are you looking to see if there's like common factors running through these different sessions? Is that what you're looking for? Are you looking to see if there's like a common denominator with them all?
Yeah, and patterns. And actually, the last week or so, ye all have been mentioned in a recording. Debs, you, Brett, Julie. It was kind of weird, and it all started the day after we done a live stream together. Now I can't remember, was it this week or no, last week or the week before? But it was kind of strange that first I was getting Deb, then I was getting Julie, I was getting Brett as well. So I don't highlight a lot of things. I just record and I put things out there.
Yeah.
It's more for sort of ITC people and that.
Mm-hmm.
So, it'd be interesting to see what the patterns are. What's the best communication from what particular box? Because I'm using a lot of the Roberts boxes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and the same names keep coming up all the time. But I'm not getting that definitive information, like who's Ed, who's Dave, who's Philip. I got a hint that Philip or Dave and Philip, an ITC research believe that Dave and Philip are both what they believe to be technicians on the other side that control the communication. If you know what I mean.
You've had that before, haven't you? When you did it on my channel, if you remember, when we had that, we had Dave come through, and didn't it say something like he was basically intimating he was some kind of supervisor or boss type entity?
Yeah, when we asked who was in charge or who was in authority, yeah. So, a lot of the ITC researchers believe in a sort of a controller of their communication. I don't know. I can't put a picture into my head of how that works, but that's what they believe. But there is evidence there that backs it up. But I still can't get my head around it at the moment, sort of thing. Yeah. But that's part of the learning, really.
Yeah. So what have you been doing, Julie?
I haven't really been doing a lot. We've had a week of rain here, and we had one day where we actually got a little bit of snowfall, which was exciting. And so
snow in Australia.
I know. And where I am, we don't get snow. If we're lucky, we might get a little bit in the middle, but to get some at the beginning of winter means we will probably get more. So because it's been raining so often, I haven't had a chance to get out anywhere. It's just too wet. So, yeah.
I've had a similar week. It's been raining Monday and parts of early Tuesday morning. We had gale force winds here. We had severe wind weathers, wind warnings from the Bureau of Meteorology, or what we call the bomb site.
Bomb site.
Well, BOM, Bureau of Meteorology. So if you ever say, we've been monitoring the bomb site, that's what it is for weather warnings and stuff. We've had some extraordinarily high and king tides. Just hunkering down, trying to stay out of it. But the last couple of days it's nearly 4:30 in the morning here, 4:22 a.m. And it's a mild morning.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm not rugged up to the nines.
Yeah, I'd say the last few weeks you've been sitting there with your jacket on. It must be milder there this week. I did get a text message earlier on in the week saying you were occupied with the pool boy, but I don't want to push that one.
No, I'll speak to you later. I know exactly where that came from. No, I was having a chat with a friend, and just in the middle of it, we were talking about our weather and the amount of rain and wind that we were experiencing all around Australia. Yeah. And I said, now my next sentence is going to sound even crazier. I've got to go. The pool man's here for his monthly cleaning all the filters, and so yes, the Cabana boy showed up.
All right, okay. Well, this week I have actually started using Photoshop, using it for the thumbnails and stuff on the channel from now on. I've also got Premiere Pro, so I can start doing some video editing now again. I've swapped from Power Director to Premiere Pro. I've had a lot of fun this week doing various pictures. Yeah. But the less said about that, the better. But I've had a fun week. I've been doing stuff channel related, getting the artwork and stuff down. So that's basically what we've been doing this week. Right. So we'll start on tonight's topic then, which is old school investigation methods. Some of these methods, believe it or not, go back hundreds of years, and we'll start with one of them, which will be dowsing rods. But some of them are quite modern, even though we still consider them old school. So let's start with dowsing rods. Now, dowsing rods are quite an interesting one because, believe it or not, I don't know how many of you know, it is rumoured that Uri Geller actually uses dowsing rods for big multinational companies. oil companies, believe it or not. And he has been hired in the past to find oil deposits around the world using a combination of dowsing rods, maps, and then actually go into the area and narrowing it down. He also uses the pendulum, I believe. But from what I can remember of the interview I saw with him, he basically claims it's done with dowsing rods. Now, dowsing rods are probably one of the easiest bits of equipment to get your hands on because they can be made from various things. You can even use something as easy as a forked stick, believe it or not, and you can basically just hold the two parts of the branches in your hand, walk round, and it'll dip down when you get water. Is probably the oldest use for them. Farmers way back in medieval times and even before actually used them to find sources of water for farms. More modern ones tend to be made out of metal, oddly enough, normally copper. I'm presuming they're using copper because copper is an highly conductive metal, and it is believed that dowsing rods are extremely reactive around things like ley lines, which a lot of people seem to believe are connected to the Earth's magnetic fields. I haven't got a set here at the moment. I keep meaning to get me a set, but I wouldn't mind doing a session with dowsing rods one night, like we're going to do a bit with the pendulum tonight. But you can hold them. The modern ones tend to be two tubes with two L-shaped pieces of metal coming out of them. You can even make yourself a set out of a pair of coat hangers, wire coat hangers. Even that will work. And basically, you keep your elbows pressed in, hold your two rods, and then the rods either swing outwards or swing inwards as you ask questions. So they're also used as a divination tool. They have been proven to be, believe it or not, highly effective in finding things like water, oil, and other natural deposits, things like quartz crystal and stuff like that. So, Sam, what's your opinion on them, and have you ever used them?
I have two sets, and at the beginning I was highly skeptical. And but they say, the people in the shop that I bought these dowsing rods from, it's one of these crystal shops. Says you have to use it. You have to use it regularly because your body is part of it all. And I says, right, I don't fully understand that, but yeah, okay. She says, no, you are actually the energy source for this.
Yeah.
So I try it for a while, getting nothing. But then slowly but surely, I was starting to get my hand, you're holding it and you're getting these kind of stinging sensation up your hands when you're holding the rods. So I don't know, it's some sort of an antenna type thing that's controlled by your body.
Yeah.
It's kind of strange, and I was a skeptic of it, but I reckon there is something to it for sure.
Right. Something just flashed behind you then, Julie.
Yeah.
Where your dream catcher is? Did you two see it?
No.
I just seen it at the corner of my eye.
It was like there was a flash on your wall right by where your dream catcher is. I don't know if anybody in the chat caught it. So you were of the opinion that they do work, Sam?
Oh yeah.
See, I've spoken to various people who use them a lot, and apparently they say they work even better if you use them barefoot. So you're basically connected to the earth as you're using them. The only problem with that is sometimes if you're walking around, you don't want to be walking around in certain areas with no shoes on. I suppose there's certain areas in Australia where that wouldn't be a very good idea.
No,
but,
especially in summer.
Yeah. But they do say if you can find somewhere like a field or something where you've got less chance of treading on something dangerous, maybe try it barefoot, or you can even do them in your house and ask questions and see whether they go in and out. The other thing you need to do with them is you basically, believe it or not, have to set them up because they react different for each person. So you have to do a set of controlled questions, like you'll say, can you show me your yes response? And they'll either swing outwards, inwards, or one might swing in or the other. And then you say, can you show me the no response? And honest to God, the dowsing rods work different for every single person. But once you've worked out what your actual... Hi, Stephen. Once you work out what your actual control responses are, the dowsing rods seem to be extremely accurate. You'll get the yes and no responses consistent sort of thing on whichever one it is. Right, Deb, what's your opinion on them?
All of the above. They've been widely used here in Australia when the early colonists got here for finding water, particularly on stations and the outback as it was developed for what... Yeah, they needed a water source because it was desert, basically. As for some of the points that Sam raised and that you just touched on, it's like any tool when you're using it like a pendulum or a crystal. People that I've spoken to that use them as a divination tool, I've never been overly successful with them, so it never tweaked my boat. But I've read up on them and so forth, but I've spoken to friends that do use them as part of their work. You have to... It's like a crystal. You have to program it and charge it. Is the only way that I can explain it.
Yeah, you do have to attune yourself to them.
Yeah, because as Sam alluded to, you are the conduit to which they can make contact with the ground, with the earth. So really, you're just the conduit, and they've been a divination tool for thousands of years. I mean, even if you go back to the Egyptians, as early as that, you will find that devices like dowsing rods in cuneiform and image and hieroglyphs have been used for all sorts of things. So it's certainly not something that attracts me, but I have got friends that use them, and they say they're the most accurate tool that they've ever got.
And the beauty of them is they're so simple. You could literally go anywhere, find an old branch on the floor, snap the ends off it, and you could start doing dowsing there and then. It's something anybody could try. You can even go in your own garden with a stick and try it in your own garden and see if you can get it to work. They are really interesting. Julie?
I have a pair. So I have a pair of these ones that look like the pens and... Brett, get your mind out of the gutter.
It was Sam who started laughing first.
And they're just metal, these ones. I would actually like to get a pair of the copper ones as well and kind of test whether the copper makes a difference. I've used them a few times and had a couple of small responses, but as you guys have said, you really need to use them quite a bit and tune yourself into them, and I don't think I've done that yet. So I would be interested in using them more and seeing whether, they become more accurate for me. But so far, I'm on the fence, but I know that a lot of people...
Have you used them more as like the question type method of using them rather than actually the searching around for things type method?
Yes, I've only used them during investigations thus far for yes/no answers. But that's an interesting one. Maybe I could try to see if, I could locate water. I don't know if I would be able to verify that I've found water, though.
There's something you could try with them that you could do with the kids. If you give the kids crystals, tell them to go and hide them in your garden, and then you can play the game with them of trying to find them by using the dowsing rods. Because you can ask the dowsing rods to point. We've lost Sam again. You can ask the dowsing rods to actually point to the direction of where they are, and you can use the dowsing rods to try and pinpoint them. So that might be... I miss Q.
Hello, Miss Q.
That might be one to try with the kids, because you can get the kids involved with that.
Yeah, good idea.
and let us know how successful it is. It is quite an interesting one. Seago says you got a lovely pair of eyes. And
thank you.
hang on, let's just get Sam back. Well, we've got a black screen of Sam. He also said he did rewind the stream, Julie, and there was definitely a flash. He don't know whether it was your camera exposure or what, but there was definitely a flash. I actually saw. I just saw it quickly, brightly flash, and it looked like it came from the what's it.
I've actually every now and again my camera glitches a little bit. I think it's just getting old, so maybe it was that. Yeah,
that was why I had to change mine in the end.
Yeah,
because people were starting to comment, "Oh, someone's just walked past your camera," and I'm like, "No, it's actually my camera. Believe me."
Yeah.
It looks like Sam's a bit stuck at the moment. I will try and bring her back in. Yeah, the mic and stuff ain't connected. We might have to wait for the... Oh, here she is. Welcome back, Sam. You're muted, Sam. Your mic ain't connected.
Love the face.
Yeah. Sam.
There you go, Doc.
Mike, that's it. Are you back?
Yeah, cameras keeps glitching out, sort of thing.
Yeah, so yes, it was strange. I keep an eye for it again, but like you say, it could have been a bit of a glitch, or it picked up extra light from somewhere briefly. Yeah, there was definitely a flash. There you go. I saw it as I was talking to Julie on here.
2 of 4 of our cameras have glitched.
Yeah, already. I don't want my camera to glitch. Thank you. It's brand new.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, me either. This is the new M1 Mac Pro.
So whoever's listening
on
in on us,
eBay.
can you kindly just glitch Julie and Sam for tonight, please? Not me and Deb.
No.
We're on new, very expensive equipment, so we don't need any glitches. Thank you. Because I'll be crying if my camera only lasts 2 weeks. So yeah, that is dowsing rods. We ought to set up a dowsing rod experiment one of the nights and try it out.
It's true.
Where we can, because if Sam's got a pair and you've got a pair, it's ideal. It's absolutely ideal.
Sounds good.
And Sam, we could even combine it with the actual spirit box. That Sam can do the spirit box. You can use your dowsing rods, and we can see if we start getting, corresponding responses on the dowsing rod and the spirit box. That'd be an interesting one to try out.
Indeed.
We could do that later, actually, if you want.
Yeah,
very often when I'm on an investigation and I feel a sort of a static energy, I have these little small ones, and I would just pick out the one, and I would just use the one sort of thing.
Yep.
To find the field of energy in that.
I on Deb's camera. Sorry, Sam.
There was a guy called Andy Matthews that was, he used to be involved in the earlier old school paranormal investigations on the television. He was involved in Britain's Greatest Haunts, Northern Ireland's Greatest Haunts. I love them shows. But Andy Matthews, all he used was his psychic ability and some dowsing rods.
Yeah,
he was a big fan of it.
Rose is saying she just saw a big orb in Deb's camera. I saw it as well, Deb. It floated over your left. It floated over your left shoulder. I presume that's where Rose saw it. It floated over your left shoulder, and it was big.
Happening.
It was big. Did you see it, Julie?
Really?
No, I didn't see it. I missed it.
I did, and Rose has seen it as well. It was an orb. It floated over your shoulder.
Wow.
And Hell House has confirmed it as well, and that it was big.
Yeah, it was big. Looks like we're getting action already.
Yeah.
Right. What do you want to cover next? We can do compasses. Has anybody ever used a compass? Old school. What did you do, Deb?
Me. I used to do orienteering. So
now I'm talking about paranormal wise, not bloody orienteering.
Yes and no on that side. I'm used to using a compass.
Yeah.
But where I used it was out in the Pilbara, which is our big iron ore landscape over here in Western Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So the readings are not always as accurate as you would. But yeah, I've tried it when I've been on site, when I used to do fly in, fly out.
Yeah.
But you could never be sure of what was coming out.
Yeah.
Simply because of the mineralogy.
Yeah.
Say that one at 4:30 in the morning. Of the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Once I was on the ground.
Mineralogical makeup of.
Thank you.
I had to think about it then to say. I had to think about it before saying it.
I haven't had enough caffeine, I think.
Yeah. Right now, compasses are an interesting one in terms of the paranormal. The way they used to be used is you basically sit one on a table, and like similar to dowsing rods, you can ask it a question. Now, if you're getting any sort of responses from spirits or whatever it is you're communicating with, you know, and I ain't saying it is spirits, but whatever you are communicating with will actually make the points of the compass spin. Now, what's interesting about this is a compass always automatically points to magnetic north. So that means something has got to be strongly affecting the magnetic field around the compass for it to work. I used to use them a lot when I was in my early 20s, and we did get a couple of times where we got some damn good responses on compasses, and there's something you never see anybody use now, or very rarely. But basically, you just sit it on a table, leave it rest for half hour, just keep checking it to make sure it does nothing in the area affecting it and making it spin. If it sits rock solid for about half an hour, then you can just sit around the table and start asking questions and watch the compass. And if you get any sort of decent contact, you will see that compass needle start spinning. Now, that one is really interesting because, like I say, compasses always naturally point magnetic north. You know, they're not something, unless you're sitting with a magnet under the table, you can't actually interfere with them. So the best thing to do is sit like you're doing a seance or something, with everybody's hands flat on the table so they can see nobody's moving or anything. Compasses are fairly cheap. You can get one off eBay over here for £5. You only need a cheap one. You know, you don't need one of these big, fancy, expensive compasses to try it. So they're another thing to put in your kit bag if you want to try some of the earlier stuff. Have you ever tried it, Julie?
No, I've never tried the compass while on ghost hunting. Yeah, I've always found it interesting though. So I actually thought, I read up on the compass not so long ago, and I thought it would be interesting to perhaps visit Monte Cristo one day and take one there and try it. Not only is it supposed to be a haunted house, but there's a bed of quartz underneath Monte Cristo as well. So yeah.
But see, the point with the compass is you have got to sit it somewhere where you're not going to move it, and you have got to monitor it for a while before you start it, just to make sure there is nothing in the area that may be pulling on it one way or another. Because same with your K2 meters, you know, there's electromagnetic fields everywhere. There's naturally occurring ones, obviously covering the globe, and then you've got your artificial ones that modern day electronic equipment generate. Things like radiation and stuff like that doesn't affect them. It is basically they're fully magnetic, like your K2, fully magnetic energy triggered. So they are probably they're probably what you could consider the low-tech version of a K2 meter. Sam, have you ever used one?
I have, but it's not a great one. It's one that has, you know, it sits in water, so there's a bit of resistance there.
Yeah.
But you know, I need to get a proper one. They were classed as an early EMF device, you know, and you know, like I said earlier on, where you know, sometimes we would sort of go into a place and we would sort of suss it out before we get most of the kit out of the bag, and we go around and we do take some readings and that. And if you feel a bit of a static wall in front of you, I remember once, you know, the compass was on top of a lantern I have, and I put it in and out of that, and it actually reacted to it. You know, but I certainly don't use them often enough, and basically I really need to get one without the fluid inside.
Yeah,
the real freer one, because the fluid has too much resistance in it.
Yeah, you're best getting one that sits on a pin. The pivot, the pivot compasses. They're the best ones to get.
Yeah.
Right. Mandy says she's seen another orb at your place, Deb. Stephen says he went back and looked, and it was like a feather. That's what I saw, and it went over your left shoulder, and it was shaped like a slightly curled up feather. It was really, it was big as well. I'm surprised Julie and Sam don't see it. It was quite big.
Are you smoking, Deb?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, because
I possibly was.
A wisp.
Yes, Stigo says EMF can be very odd to deal with. I've had dizzy spells at gigs due to EMF before. That's totally possible, Stigo. This is why I won't use what a lot of paranormal investigators use, which is an EMF pump. And basically all they are is a motor with a magnet fitted to it, and it spins the magnet at high speed and generates rather large EMF fields. If I sit next to an EMF pump, they give me massive migraines. So I can't deal with stuff like that. So I'm exactly the same. They affect me. The other thing you've got to be aware of with EMF, not only can they cause dizziness and headaches, they can also cause hallucinations. Yes. It's medically proven that EMF can cause you to see things. And this is why a lot of these places where they go into these investigations and they get really high readings on the K2 meter, which they cannot find a reason for. They could be naturally occurring. You'll find a lot of the times people tend to see a lot more things when they get in high K2 readings. And I think some of it can be ascribed to the fact that it's the EMF fields. Actually, will you two shut up? It can be confirmed to the EMFs working on the brain.
Yeah, the thing about pumps is you turn on the pump, you set it down, and you step back.
Yeah.
You step well back out of the way. I have two myself, and I actually made them from computer motors. And yes, they can give you a really cracking headache. I mean, it's really, really bad, and you will not notice. The earlier ones had a noisy motor in them, but if you use a computer pan, you'd hardly even know it was on. And all it is a magnet spinning around.
Yeah, it's a magnet. It's a magnet fitted to a motor. That's basically all it is. Anybody can make themselves an EMF meter for a couple of quid. You just buy a cheap motor and just glue a magnet to it, and then just let it spin, and that's basically your EMF pump. Because as the magnet spins, it's moving the poles around on the magnet, so it basically forms a great big ball of EMF magnetic field.
Yeah, the trick of keeping it quiet is having a balance motor.
Yeah,
you one. You nearly need two magnets. One at each end at exactly the same point. A bit like when you're balancing the wheels of a car, you have to have it in the right spot. Otherwise, it'll start running around the place.
Yeah.
Seago
says he's almost fallen over a few times. Not very rock and roll. I've heard that too. Never had EMF hallucinations before, though. Now, it does have to be quite high EMF fields to cause the human brain to hallucinate, but it is possible. Another interesting thing I'll mention while we're talking about the brain, I was actually watching a YouTube video today from CBS News from 3 years ago, and they were actually interviewing a doctor who works in intensive care. That's his speciality. He works in the intensive care unit of an hospital in America, and he's been doing a study for 3 years on people who die and come back and basically tell people that what went on while they were dead. Now, this doctor says this, at the moment of death, when your heart stops, you lose consciousness. So technically, the body shouldn't actually be able to remember anything. And he said they have actually brought people back hours late, and he said hours after death, and they have been able to describe exactly what they've seen and heard going on around them. So they now believe that your consciousness in some way exists after the body physically shuts down. because once your heart stops, your brain function stops. You should physically not be able to process information, but they've been getting people coming back and actually remembering the doctors and nurses working on them after they were dead, to the point they have described what went on with, precision. And he said, we have had patients who they have revived hours, and he said hours, because technically I think the human brain I think it's 6 minutes.
6 minutes, the brain, before it's impacted.
But he actually admitted they have brought patients back hours after they have technically died, and they have had patients that have described what has gone on in that 6-hour period.
Wow.
It was fascinating. It was I tried to send it Julie, but apparently it ain't available in Australia.
Yeah.
But it was a fascinating topic.
The other sort of point that I'd like to bring back, it's ironic that you should mention hospitals and so forth. That's one of the reasons why they swap out radiology staff and keep them separate from the MRI machines. Was when they're active over a period of time, one of the most common things that staff are impacted by are headaches.
Yeah, because an MRI generates massive magnetic fields, doesn't it?
Correct.
I actually went in. I had to go in one last year after I'd had my heart attack, and Jesus Christ, it was an ordeal. It really was. It was like being inside a giant tumble dryer at one point.
I just go to sleep. Don't ask me why.
I'm claustrophobic.
Well, so am I, but it didn't bother me.
It came too close to my face, and I'm like, ooh, don't like it in here. But yeah.
Over here, when you have an MRI, I had one a few months ago for my back and my shoulder. You get a choice of music that you can listen to. So I chose Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
So I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after I was in it, I think it was about 30 minutes. I had to do it twice over the space of 2 days. I'll never forget it. And one was with my heart. They'd chemically induce my heart to race, and then they did it, and then I had to go back the following day, and they did it at normal levels. But at one point, it's like a big polo you go in. But at one point, it comes right over your head, sort of thing, and then it spins really fast. And I'm like, Jesus! And I had one hell of a massive headache all day after I came out of it, and that was due to But I didn't see anything apart from this bloody thing spinning round above my head, because you can see this little window with it going round.
Yeah,
and it was literally like being in a tumble dryer. But that gave me headaches. So that's one thing to be aware of if you're doing any kind of investigation, is always walk around the area with with your K2 meter and try and locate any EMF hotspots, because one, you may get a lot of activity there, but two, it may not always necessarily be what you think it is causing it.
Yeah,
something to be aware of.
Miss
Q said she had an MRI and it was in a child size one. I nearly had a panic attack. I did, Miss Q. I was really, really freaked out in it. Because it literally came down to within like an inch of your face.
Yeah.
And I am severely claustrophobic. Severely.
Yeah. You're saying K2 meter in relevance to EMF detectors. I go for the digital, because you get a more sort of an accurate pinpoint sort of reading on them.
Yeah, but the only problem with digital ones is you're going to pay through the nose for them. I just said that for general, people who just buy a K2.
Some of them are cheap enough. Some of them are cheap enough, They're coming down in price.
Personally, I prefer the proper trimeters, but to get a decent trimeter, you're talking 200-300 quid.
Yeah.
For a decent one.
Yeah, I have one of the old school ones now, but they're very hard to find. The little needle. Now it's all sort of digital, like a pretend needle, but it's actually an LCD screen. The old needle, I like them.
Yeah.
But they're like hen's teeth to find.
Yeah. Right, we can talk. I'm just going to roll a cigarette, and then we can talk about pendulums if you want to. And we can do.
I just want to round out on your EMF pumps. it seems like it's a fad we've all commented on fads in ghost hunting shows for entertainment. How one person does one thing, the next thing it's on, everybody's using it. It's just a fad. These EMF pumps.
Yeah. To be honest with you don't see many people using them nowadays. You go back a couple of years and it was like everybody and the dog had got one.
Yeah.
But recently you don't see so many people using them. I was never convinced that they did anything anyway, apart from giving me an headache. I was never convinced. Right. I don't think flooding an area with electromagnetic energy, hi Luna, was going to affect anything anyway. If anything, you could probably end up skewing anything happening, because I am old school in the fact that I believe if anything's going to happen, it will happen. Trying to force it with something like an EMF pump ain't really going to help the situation. One way or other, but that's just a personal opinion.
Yeah, you see that the use of them lately a lot in the American versions. They're always trying to. I'm not going to name any shows. Even some of the newer ones, they use EMF pumps. And then they become affected by something and they put it automatically down to the paranormal, and it's got nothing to do with the paranormal, but the surroundings that they've energized the air with.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is
so when they say, I've got a headache, it must be a Desmond, it's like, oh, God. They don't understand the equipment they're using for what the intent that it was built for.
Yeah.
And then when their biology is affected or physiology, then they're not. Every time I see somebody now, with an EMF pump in it, I just think you're mad, because you don't understand you do not understand what it is that you've brought into the environment that won't do what you hope it will do. And next thing you get a headache, or you're dizzy, or you're affected in some way. Your heart races or something, and automatically it's it's a Desmond, there's activity. But they show their ignorance, basically. That's my frustration in what they're introducing for entertainment value. Like they're really whiz bang investigators that you will use all the latest tools. All they're doing is demonstrating their stupidity, in my humble opinion, because they're not understanding what it is that they've introduced to the environment and why it's affecting them. And people don't stop to think and question. And I mean that being the audience. They just accept it as fact, and it's not. They don't question what an EF pump is meant to do.
I think that's the biggest thing too. I think that a lot of people go into investigations with equipment that they don't understand, and I think that you should understand your equipment before you use it.
Spot on.
100%.
And you don't even have to be like, you don't have to be an engineer or anything like that. You can go onto YouTube or Google any day now. And there are plenty of good guides out there on what the different paranormal, the pieces of paranormal equipment do. It's all right, Pat. Don't worry about it. You're fine. And you can research what a K2 does. You can research how a REM pod works. You've just got to you've just got to just do your research. There's nothing technical in the use of them as such. If anything, what you're really looking for is the pitfalls of them rather than how they work. You've got to educate on what can affect them and give you false readings. Like if you stand near a microwave with your K2 meter, you're going to frighten yourself to death and never use your microwave ever again. Because K2 is going to go off the scale. Same as if you put your K2 too near to your phone. I'll just pop in this question before I carry on. Luna says she uses the pendulum and the dowsing rods. We're going to do experiments with both of them in a bit, Luna. A lot of people nowadays, when they go out filming investigations, and it's the one thing I always say to people, do not walk around filming with your K2 meter in your hand, because 9 times out of 10, your camera is going to, every time, especially if you're using your phone to film, every time your phone communicates with the nearest radio tower, which is very frequently, it sends a pulse out, it will register on your K2 meter.
Yep.
So you'll be getting false positives on it. I always say, when you first get, and Jace will confirm this, whenever we've gone out on an investigation, the first thing I do is I turn my K2 on, I put my phone down, or give it to Jace, walk around the area and see where my K2 triggers. Because even in ruins and stuff like that, you will be surprised where you pick up electromagnetic fields. You don't know what underground cables run under them or anything. There's all sorts of things that can trigger them. Then you put it down somewhere and you leave it there and you monitor it again for another 20 minutes to make sure that the spot you've put it in is not triggering at any point. If you're filming your K2 meter, you keep your phone away from it, because the second you go within a couple of feet, and sometimes depending on the conditions, it could be even further away. You could be 6 feet away from it. And the second your phone pulses, it will register on your K2 meter. And your mobile phone is pulsing constantly to keep in touch with the radio tower and keep you on the network.
Well, another interesting thing was I saw someone had a K2 meter and they kept going back to this same place, and they're like, oh, every time I come here, I get my K2 meter spike, and, you know, this must be a hot spot for activity and stuff. But I did a little bit of research because there was a phone tower in the area, and with phone towers, I think if you're directly under them, they can affect you, and then it has I would say a numb spot around it after a certain distance where it won't be affected. Radio shadow. But after that, it will affect it again, and it's quite a far distance that the phone tower will affect your K2.
Oh yeah.
So it's worth looking into that too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. Your phone and your phone towers, that, you know, a phone's only small, but it packs one hell of a signal to keep in touch with the nearest radio mast.
It does.
You'll be surprised how strong of a signal a mobile phone kicks out. And when you've got a K2 meter by it, it will register. Yeah. It's the same with REM pods. You'll see a lot of people who get these supposed really good conversations on the REM pod where they're getting a response every time they ask a question. It is very easy to fake. You can stand within 20 feet of a REM pod and key a walkie-talkie up in your pocket, and I guarantee you that REM pod will light up all 4 lights as if you're getting a response.
Exactly.
You know, so you've got to be very careful of the evidence you're getting. One, people can accidentally misread things, but there's also people out there who will deliberately, shall we say, use certain methods to make their evidence look better than what it is. And I always say, in the paranormal, 99% of the time, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah,
it probably is. You know, so you do have to be aware of stuff like that. There are so many different ways you can fake stuff in the paranormal. You know, and people think just because it's you know, you're using something that's technologically advanced, it's infallible. If anything, the old school methods are harder to fake with than modern technology is. What were you going to say, Sam?
We've done investigations with a team, and they insist when the location is big, you know, like Cumber House or whatever.
Yeah.
They insist on radio contact and stuff like that. So, and that's why sort of electromagnetic fields is kind of sort of out of the way for us. And you know, and if we do, you know, I think the last investigation we done of Cumber House, I took the radio off. I says, right, I need, you know, and here I'm turning it off and that. But because we have to have radio, you know, there's certain things we can't do. You know what I mean? Because that affects that. But I think it's to do with insurance. They feel responsible for us, so they insist on radio contact.
It's probably part of the risk assessment they have to abide by.
Yeah, you know. So, you know, in general, sort of, you know, EMF detectors is kind of out, and if you wanted to use them, you know, I often says I'm going to be turning off the radio on and off, but I won't be turning it off for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, you will get contact after 10 minutes if you don't get contact with me. So don't worry about it, you know.
Mm.
You know, but in general, you know, if you can avoid your phone, we always insist, don't bring your phone. Walkie-talkies, if you don't need them, don't use them. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you can actually trigger off REM pods with these walkie-talkies from a very good distance away, you know. And definitely K2 meters, they're so sensitive. You can trigger them off from a very good distance with a good walkie-talkie, with even a basic walkie-talkie, you know.
Luna says, do you think putting your phone on airplane mode keeps from interference? Only up to a point, Luna. That stops it communicating with the tower, but you've got to remember you're still using a piece of radio equipment. So that by the very nature of what the circuit's made up to do, it will still be pulling out some kind of signal when you're close to things like K2 meters. Same as your microwave. If you turn your microwave on and stick your K2 next to it, it will send your K2 off the scale. You'll get 5 lights lit up easily just by turning your microwave on. Electronic things, by their very nature, just being powered on, generate electromagnetic fields.
True.
So, you know, even putting it on airplane mode, you'll minimize it, but it will still occur. Yeah. You know, and the thing with EMF, you've got to bear in mind it can occur naturally in areas, things like the makeup of the ground and stuff like that. If you're in an area where there's things like a lot of quartz crystal, quartz is a basic, you know, it's a natural amplifier. It's also piezoelectrical, where it generates electricity when it's under pressure. So, you know, you've also got to be aware that you can be getting, you know, these signals for reasons you can't work out. I always say the best evidence is when you're getting a strong EMF signal on a K2 that suddenly disappears and doesn't come back, because then that gives you more of the impression that it's actually you know, more of an intermittent thing. If you're getting a solid reading in the same spot constantly, more than likely there's going to be a natural explanation for it rather than a paranormal one. Even something as stupid as wiring in the wall in a building where you think there's no electric, even if the power's turned off, normally there is still power going to as far as the circuit breaker. So
there's residual charge in the line
there.
Yeah.
You know, and when all
but it doesn't pick up gamma radiation.
Yeah, when all said and done, there is absolutely no way we can prove that there is any connection between ghosts and EMF anyway at the moment. We believe there is, you know, but for all we know, we could all be barking up the wrong tree as far as EMF's concerned. EMF may not be even connected to what people consider as ghosts and spirits.
Yeah, some people say try static detectors, you know.
Yeah.
I actually have a gamma Geiger counter, and you know, some people buy them for paranormal research, you know. No major results from it, but you know, you never know. It maps out these. It gives you a mapped out reading over a certain length of time.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're filming that and anything happens, you can look at the data that you've recorded and stuff. And actually, there's an EMF detector. I have it just here. That has got 3 different readings, and one of those two of those readings, I can't do a video on it because I have to look it up and I have to research it first. But the first 2, there's 3 different sections, and the first two sections, especially the top one, will trigger off from electronic equipment and such things like that. The second one, slightly less, but the reading at the bottom, even beside electronic equipment, will not budge. So if you can get responses on requests on that particular section on the bottom, it's a little bit it's a little bit better than some of these other EMF readers, and these are going on, like, these are being sold now for about £30. I know the paranormal equipment companies are buying them up and selling them at 40, 50, 60 pounds. You can get them for £30 if you're searching for EMF meters. Go to EMF meter section. You don't need to buy loads of paranormal equipment from a paranormal store. EMF detectors, electricians use them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, go to a electrical store or electrical section of a Bunnings or a warehouse sort of company, but always go to the electrical section, and you can get really good professional stuff that electricians use, and that's far more accurate than a K2.
We used K2s basically as a sort of a trigger object. We didn't actually take the readings very serious on them because it's just lights. We use digital for that, and digital has gotten an awful lot cheaper now.
Pat says I've had a K2 light up in response to questions, and Luna says me too, Pat. And then Pat says I love my K2. I love mine, Pat. I use mine I tend to use mine as a questioning tool than anything else for yes and no answers. All I say to people is just make sure whenever you're using that K2, you're not carrying it around with you. Put it somewhere stationary and make sure it's been sitting somewhere for at least half an hour where you've been getting no readings on it at all. And then that way, if you start getting responses, you've gone some way to narrowing down what's been going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right, the next one we're going to talk about, and this is one everybody can join in with, is automatic writing. Now, this is the one that a lot of people, it's very old school. It's been around. It was very popular in Victorian times, and it's the one a lot of people are frightened of because they've got it into their heads that they are somehow, you can somehow get possessed by doing automatic writing. Complete and utter nonsense as far as I'm concerned. People at home can join in this because the panel are going to do it. So basically what you do, get yourself a piece of paper and a pen, stick your piece of paper on a flat surface, stick your pen on the paper, leave your hand there for the rest of the stream, forget about your pens there and see if you scribble anything while you're taking no notice. So that's what we can do with that one from now on for the rest of the thing. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a method of getting possessed in any way, shape, or form. But if anybody wants to try it at home with us while we're doing it, feel free because it can be quite interesting. Sometimes you'll get nothing but squiggles. Sometimes you'll actually get words. And sometimes, some people draw pictures without even realizing they're doing it. Have you ever done it before, Deb?
Yeah, I have many times.
Any success with it?
Yes. It's a hit and miss affair.
Yeah.
But there have been times where not so much the writing, drawing a picture of something has been accurate. So it's like everything. It's trial and error.
Yeah. So,
but I have done it.
Has everybody got the pens there on the paper? Yeah. Just forget now that you've even got the pen in your hand, and we'll just carry on talking, and then a bit later on we'll see if anybody's scribbled anything without even realising it. And people at home can join in with this one as well. Julie, you ever done it before?
I have tried doing it before. When I first started doing paranormal stuff, I tried the automatic writing method and kind of tried to meditate at the same time that I was doing it. But I didn't really get much of anything. I think that, just maybe the timing was off. But I've been sitting here kind of scribbling since we started.
Yeah.
Haven't got anything yet.
Well, that was what I was doing last week when I drawed that eye for some reason. I weren't even paying attention to what I was doing, and I just scribbled that eye down.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite interesting. Sam, have you ever done it before?
No, but I've seen it being done, but it was done in a different sort of way. And the team made a wooden planchette and a place to put a pen, and they done it like a Ouija board thing.
Like a Ouija board, yeah. That's more a conscious way of doing it. That's more of a direct communication type thing with automatic writing. The reason they say it's automatic is because you're not consciously aware of what you're doing at the time, and you basically your hand just automatically does what it wants to when you're not paying any attention to it. Just stick at it, Pat. Just totally forget about you've got the pen in your hand, and just leave it now, and just leave the pen do its own thing. Sometimes you'll be surprised the sort of things you do.
I'm afraid to move in case I put the wire out to my camera and I'm knocked off again.
Yeah. What is interesting about automatic writing is if you go to somewhere like a development circle at a spiritualist church, automatic writing is one of the first things they will give you as an exercise, because it is considered one of the best ways to trigger any form of medium talents. Apparently, people who tend to be, have any kind of mediumship ability tend to be naturals at automatic writing, and it's one of the best ways to trigger any kind of mediumship ability you've got, believe it or not. So it's one to think. I have actually got to stop doing mine because I need to get my pendulum out now, which is the next one we're going to talk about.
Can I ask, is there a hand that you're supposed, like, because I've heard you're meant to use the hand you don't write with. Is that true or not?
Doesn't matter.
Cool.
Really doesn't matter.
Just one day.
Everybody's got a theory.
Have you got a pendulum there, Sam? Even better.
Yeah.
Right, we can do this with two then. So basically, pendulums, one of the oldest again of the divination methods. Now, what you do with this is basically you just hang your pendulum there. Try not to move your arm, and then you ask it questions. So if me and Sam sit here and hold the pendulums, I'll try not to look at Sam so I can't see what her pendulum's doing. And you and Julie, Deb, can ask questions, and we'll see if we get any sort of reactions on the pendulums.
Let us go forth.
All right. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, crack on, mate.
Is there somebody in spirit with Deb that showed themselves earlier? Actually, first, can you show us your yes answer?
Hang on. I need to get mine so I've got it in camera view.
Over and back.
Yours is backwards and forwards.
Mine's going round in a circle.
Mine's going over and back.
Mine's going round in a circle.
Okay.
I can't hold mine up very long.
Can you show us a no answer, please?
Oh, it's going backwards and forwards.
Oh, that was vibrating then, Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's me propping my arm up. Let me swap arms. I'm better with my left arm. Oh, and we get it in focus better as well. Or we did. Hang on, let's get it on my face. It might automatically. Right, go on then. Ask the questions, Julie.
Okay. Is there someone in spirit with Deb that showed themselves on camera earlier? Circles.
Oh, shit.
Straight away.
That was pretty reactive.
Tugging. That's tugging. That was actually tugging.
All right, Deb, your turn.
Hi, three souls.
I'm just trying to think of something that I really want to, not for me, just in general.
Yep.
Are the spirits happy with the experiments that we do on Julie and Brett's channel, please?
I'm closing my eyes, so I can't see what it's doing. What's it doing? I can feel it moving.
It's
It's
going
moving.
side to side. What was side to side?
I can't hold mine up any longer. I'm getting a cramp in my hand.
All right, Tom.
Actually, that's better. I can hold it better like that.
Are you able to?
Yeah,
sort?
I can do it for. I can do it for a bit
I
longer.
can't.
Do you want to ask a question, Sam?
I'm not prepared to. I wasn't prepared to ask a question. If anybody else
Okay.
has a question, fire away.
I'm trying to think. Should have given us. Put your arm down for a second, Brett, while we think of a couple
Hang
of
on.
questions.
Was that orb that we saw with Deb significant earlier? Did it represent something? I'm trying not to move as I'm talking. It's going again.
Yeah, it's going around.
It is going around. I can see it. I need to hold it. Hang on. Let me move across so I ain't by me name. Are you somebody that Deb knew? That's moving a lot more now.
That's a circle.
It is a circle. I'm staying at the end of it.
Yeah.
Are you a relative of Deb's? No,
Ooh.
that's a line.
No.
That's a straight line.
Yeah.
An old friend, perhaps. Are you an old friend?
No.
Is that a no? That's a no.
No. That's a no.
Are you a protector?
Oh, it's going around in
Circles.
circles.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I can actually feel this tugging. I can feel a tug on it.
You can tell by the way it's moving. Yeah.
That movement is not. It's not natural movement. I can see it kind of suddenly. Do you see that?
It's stiff, like the whole way down.
Yes, Luna, it was. Have you been with me for a very long time?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Very definitely yes.
Are you ancient?
No. Definitely not.
No.
Have you been with Deb since birth?
No.
No. Are you an elemental?
No, definitely not. Were you once a person?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Did I know you?
Yes. Definitely.
This life or another?
You got to give a definite yes or no answer. So
Was it this
have
life?
I known you in this life?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have I known you in another life?
No.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I knew you, but you're not old.
Oh, stop moving altogether now, look.
Us for gender, maybe.
Are you male?
Yes.
Ooh. Were you young when you passed?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much. Yes, definitely yes.
Was Deb young when you passed?
No.
No.
I'm gonna have to swap hands again.
And you're not an ancestor of. Are you an ancestor of mine?
Yes.
Okay,
Let
so
it,
that's a
yes.
different answer.
Yes.
Mm.
Definitely yes.
Okay.
Don't forget, by ancestor, that could, it don't necessarily mean ancestor, that could be family member.
Yeah, family member. Is that you, Nan?
Yes.
But he said it was a male, didn't it? Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did.
It did. But that's
You weren't
definitely
a male.
That's definitely yes.
Yeah, that's definitely a circle, and that is a big circle.
Well, she was the matriarch of our family, so.
Is there more than one spirit answering?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to put my arm down. I could actually feel that pulling, like it was being tugged.
Some of that movement doesn't make physical sense. There was slight movement of the hand.
Yeah,
but,
I know. I couldn't keep my hand dead still.
You know, you're not going to avoid that. But the way it was, you know, there was sudden jerks of the.
I could feel it tugging, Sam. I could actually feel tugs. I could feel tugs on the pendulum.
That was kind of strange, now. You know.
Have you got the energy, Brett, to hold it up one more time?
Yeah.
Please.
What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to get a longer chain for it, and I'm going to build a stand for it, so we can stick it on a. So we can stick it on a stand on the desk, and I'll get the spare camera and I'll rig it up so the camera's on it constantly. Oh, hang on a minute. There you go.
Is that you, Uncle Tony?
No.
Uncle Charlie?
No.
Who else did you say? Your nan?
Yeah, my nan. I was very, 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 very close with my nan.
It's definitely a nan.
Nan? Yeah.
Definitely a nan is going round in a circle again.
Nan's one. Yep.
I miss you more than you know, but the male, that's why I said Uncle Tony, because he passed 4 years ago. It's only 8 weeks after Mum did.
Oh my God.
What? I can't see it.
It's going crazy.
Whoa!
If it's Uncle Tony, can you make the pendulum stop, please? Oh, it glitched then. Did you see that?
Oh!
Did you see how quick that stopped spinning?
Well, you kind of pulled it, like glitched, and then it stopped.
Uncle Tony and Nan are looking.
And you had 2 orbs.
I'm going to build a stand for that so we can do that. An even better way of doing that, because I've got my camera like behind my screen. I've got to hold it up really hard. That literally went bump and stopped dead.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I love and miss you both every day. You have no idea how much I miss you both. You left a big, big void in my life.
Right, so what we'll do next, if Julie wants to get her pair out again, and Sam, if you want to set your spirit... Well, that's what she described them as. She said she's got a pair. Sam, do you want to get your spirit box out? And what we'll do, you do a spirit box session, asking questions, and then we'll see if Julie's rods react at the same time that anything's coming through the box.
Yeah.
It's easier with the rods, Julie, because you can put your hands tucked in, so it ain't so strenuous on the arms.
I'll see if I can move my chair up because my name tag's in the way. Hang on.
Thank you, Seago.
You almost had me crying, Deb.
That was really that was weird. That was weird at the end because that pendulum was going like this and it went boing and stopped.
Yeah,
stopped dead.
Stop dead.
I'm a skeptic, and some of that movement to me did not make physical sense.
Right
because
at the end, you know, when it stopped dead, it felt like it was being pulled downwards. That's what
it
it
was,
felt like.
there was a couple of times where there seemed to be a force against it, sort of thing.
Yeah. Diego says there were points where it almost looked like something was holding it from a lower point on the screen and manipulated, if that makes sense. Diego, I actually felt like something was tugging on it. It felt like somebody was actually pulling the chain. That's what it felt like.
I'm dead.
Let's just say Deb.
That's how I'm dead.
Yeah.
Or Deb.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it said I'm dead. But anyway.
Am I in danger? No? Okay, thank you.
So there's your answer straight away. Julie, you need to do yes and no control. See if you can get them to work.
Right. Can you show us what your yes answer is, please?
Deb.
It's not even moving.
Ask it for a no. You may not get responses. It may just start moving naturally on its own.
Can you show us a no answer, please?
They're moving.
Hey.
They're moving together.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That one
crossed over.
They're crossing over. Okay, so you need to straighten them now, and then that's it.
Tim.
Tim.
Oh, Tim, was it?
Tim or them? I'm not sure.
No.
That sounds really rough.
Is it volume? Is volume okay?
Yeah.
I need a reset.
Okay, no problem.
I need a reset.
Okay. You can put your arms down for a second, Julie.
Okay. I was trying to get myself into a state where I was putting energy into them. They're getting warm.
Just so you know, next week, folks, we are doing the psychic quiz again, where we check who's the most psychic on the channel. It'll be the Jenna cards again, the spin wheel, and the 3 images. So Sam won it the first time we did it. I've done it 2 or 3 times on the channel now. So next week's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of audience participation, because you've all got to take part in it, because we actually score to see who turns out, and including the panel. So apart from me, obviously, because I'm running it, so I know what the images and stuff are. So we'll find out next week who's the most psychic of you all for the month.
Won't be me.
You may
surprise yourself. Oh, jinx.
That's all right, Jack. Don't worry about it. I was just saying, Jack, next week we're doing the Are You Psychic quiz again that I used to host every month. So make sure you're here for the one next week, because you can join in the Are You Psychic.
Hi, Evelyn. Hi, MCAT.
Oh, MCAT too.
Hi,
MCAT,
MCAT.
Evelyn, Luna. Hello, dearies.
Like, what's the volume like? Do you want it up or down or what?
Turn it up a fraction, please, Sam. Okay. Do you want to ask a question, Deb, to follow on from the pendulum?
Two? Did that say two?
I think so. Your pair are spreading, Julie.
Yes.
There's no way I'm touching that.
They're really going apart now. They are parting. Is there anybody here who was just communicating via the pendulum? We. That's yes. In French.
Yep.
You.
Oh, Julie's right.
Julie.
Wide open.
Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, they're going back.
I'll bitch slap myself. Don't worry about it. Well, I'm still recovering from the pendulum. Thank you both for your love and support when you were with me. The knowledge that you imparted. I wish I'd have paid more attention now. I'm sorry that your stories, I was young and silly, but I still remember them. And something.
Vivid.
That sounded like vivid.
Yeah, that's what I thought. My dreams have been vivid this week. I've had some bizarre dreams in like Technicolor, like Cecil B. DeMille stuff.
Are there ones you can talk about?
Say again?
Are there ones you can talk about?
Yes.
I'm still trying to get. It's not as clear as I want it to be.
So I'll keep twiddling. Just keep adjusting it, Sam, till you're happy with it.
Yeah, this mode isn't a case of flicking a switch. Basically, it's a bit of tweaking.
Yeah. While you're sorting it, we can carry on talking to Julie's rods.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. Just take your time.
Nan or Uncle Tony, have I been opening myself up too much? Not enough? Have I not been using the gifts that you bestowed on me enough? Or do I need to do more work?
It's moving. It's moving. Yes. That's the yes response.
That's a no response.
Oh, is that the no response?
That's a no response.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes was opening, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't need to do more work.
Maybe you are where you're meant to be.
That's a question. Am I on the path that I am meant to be on? Is this right for me?
That might be a question they're not prepared to answer.
It's a forward-moving question, so I believe I am, Jacqueline. Evelyn?
Yeah. Have you been watching over Deb lately? Have you been visiting her while she's asleep? Yep. Yep.
Moving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at it moving. Yep. Are the dreams that I'm having...
Hang on. She has to reset them before you ask the question.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay.
I've seen where it's going.
The messages are coming in my dreams. You know what's in my heart. You know what's on my mind.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Am I moving in the right direction with our values and our culture?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Nan, am I as strong as you always told me that I was on the inside?
That's a yes again.
Yeah, I can feel that one
Yeah,
edging out a
he's
bit.
going.
That one always
He's going.
moves for
He's going.
yes.
I'm watching the end compared to the doll. He's definitely moving.
There you go.
Is that?
Yeah.
What the?
All right, you reset. Yes, Jackie. Yes, Evelyn, I am. Is the spiritual path for me?
Yeah, it's moving again.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Now it's so weird. It's only the one going as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
just one.
It's right. I'm listening to the responses that are coming out of Sam's box as you're asking questions.
Is the day?
Am I using my full spiritual capacity at this time?
Phases.
Phases? Did I just say
Yeah,
phases?
you say phases.
It's going to be a no, Dave.
That's no.
I can
So
feel
I'm
it
not
even before it moves.
So I'm not using my full capacity.
Nope.
Damn it, I already knew that.
Can you
That's what-
communicate through the box? Can you say something to Deb through the box? That's say come.
Present.
I thought so.
Present.
Present. Do I need to grow the energy work that I do with magic?
Yep. Moving.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you for those tips. I appreciate them a great deal and everything that you taught me.
Fine.
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 Yes. The.
I'm more plugged in than I think sometimes.
I don't know if this is relevant to anybody, but I've just looked at my squiggles. I don't know if you can see them on there. But one of the things I've actually written there, look, is the word 10.
Million.
Yeah. I
10's a
see that.
completion.
Yeah.
10's a completion.
Can you see it?
Yep.
I've just looked down at it. And I thought, oh, I've written the word 10 there.
I think Ed has come through.
You thought what come through, Sam?
Ed. Ed, he always
oh, not
shows
again.
up. Ed, he always shows up. Are you there, Ed? Could you help us with this?
Why? Don't.
So,
It's Ed.
No. No, Pat. I'm the only one in the house that's up.
yeah.
Tell to be constructive or sod off.
Sod off. Why me? There are 4 other people in chat. Do you have messages for anyone else?
Yep.
Thank you, Nan and Uncle Tony.
Okay.
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 Like,
You're paid. Ed, can you tell us why you keep coming through the radio?
wait.
What was that?
Away.
That's what I thought he said.
Teach.
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 Are you here to teach us something, Ed? That sounded like Jewel. Do you want to teach Julie something?
And see.
Face it.
About. Any. Head.
Ed?
It was a woman's voice this time.
Yeah.
It's often a woman, actually, that says Ed. You know?
Wow, everyone, that's extraordinary.
Have you considered the fact it might not be Ed? If it's a woman saying it a lot, it might be Edwina.
That's what I was just thinking, Edwina. I had that same name in my head.
But Ed is... I didn't get Ed until I bought this box. And the guy that made the box is pestered by Ed. And there is a history of an Ed at his house. And then other people, there's about 200 of these boxes actually in the UK, and some of them that, you know, he's got feedback from are getting Ed as well. And I'm actually seeing somebody else with that box is getting Ed too. So it's kind of weird.
Well, it distinctly said, when I said, what are you here for? It distinctly said teach.
True.
Yeah.
Ed, are you a teacher? Are you some kind of guide? Luna says she heard I am. What do we need to be taught, Ed?
Enough.
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 That makes no sense.
I have been asking about what is the information that they can give us and what's classified information or secret information that they can't give us. Is there secret information that they can't tell us? You don't get a very definitive answer to that question, actually. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes they say yes, there's things we can't tell you, and sometimes they say no.
Can you three carry on a sec, because I need the loo.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you want me to pick the rods up again, let me know. I'm just resting my shoulder.
I'm going to feed in a slight bit of audio, and if there is an echo, tell me, because it's easier for you to directly talk to the box if there's a tiny bit of audio coming through.
Okay.
Now that just said instruct. When Sam was talking, the word instruct came through. So teaching and instruction.
Instruct.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Exactly.
Actually, I just found out I can't feed the audio in because I have it unplugged. But it should the speakers, these headphones are loud enough you can hear them from here, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be, it should be all right.
Who are you here to teach?
Love you.
Morpheus.
That's the third time this week I've got I or love you. Who are you here to communicate? We've got Deb, we got Brett, and we got Julie on the screen in front of you, on the screen in front of me, that wants to communicate with you. Is it okay if you communicate with those, please? These people are my friends, and they're good people. So don't be afraid to talk to them.
Black. Except
It's fine.
I'm not convinced I'm in direct response mode because I'm getting radio, I'm getting music coming through. Do you want me to try? Do you want me to try again? It should be a lot more quieter than this.
That's up to you, Sam. You know your equipment better than anyone.
Well, Brett is back, so I'll go silent and try reset again. See if I can get it any cleaner than this.
Okay, honey.
All right.
Yep.
Whop your pair out again then, Julie.
Oh, God.
Let's see if we can talk to Ed on the dowsing rods.
I don't know whether you were here for it, but the word instruction came out. Or
Did it?
instruct. Yep.
Ed, are you here with us?
Oh, Sam's on mute and she's resetting the.
No, I'm gonna ask Julie's rods.
Oh, sorry.
Are you here with us, Ed? Do you know what's really funny about this? Sam's getting this Ed a lot and this Dave a lot, and both times when there you go, look. When we did this last time, we got talking to this Dave, and this Dave was saying exactly the same thing about teaching. And he basically said he was some kind of foreman over a complete group of people who were coming through connected to Ed. We were asking about Ed and Dave.
Wow.
Are you some kind of spiritual teacher, Ed? Okay. Are you a teacher of something?
Were you a teacher?
It's going.
It's going.
Okay, so he was a teacher. Okay, so now we've got a bit more
he's
information about Ed.
He's not a spiritual teacher, but he's a teacher of something. That's a good point, Luna.
Yeah.
Are you an intermediary between the spirit world and this one? Or between wherever you people come from and this one?
I think that's moving.
It is moving. Are you a sort of go-between? Yep.
There you go. It's moving now.
Okay.
Ed, are you an ancient being? Hang on, I'll reword that. There you go. Ed, are you ancient?
It's gonna go.
Yeah, is that moving? Yes.
Yeah.
Ask if it's an elemental.
I was just going to ask if it's ever been on this planet. Ed, have you ever been on this planet in human form?
I can feel that one tugging now. It's just sitting there.
Are you an energy being?
Did Sam's box just say yes?
I think it did it. Yes, me. Yes, me.
Oh. What have we tapped into?
There it goes again.
Out. Did it just say out?
Out.
And it was moving out.
When you asked, did you ask it, are you a teacher?
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a direct answer, no. Off the audio when I was muted, when I was about to say it. It said no.
Now, according to the dowsing rods, he's just said he's basically an intermediary. He's a go-between.
Yeah. That would explain tech. Do you know where some ITC researchers believe that there's a technician between the control, the communication on the other side?
Yeah, well, that's basically what he's basically just said on the dowsing Julie's rods. Did that say Julie then? He's basically just said on the dowsing rods, he's a go-between. He's not human. He's never been human. He's energy form. Is what he's basically just said on the rods.
Yep.
Eddie, you and otherkin.
What's a Fey word for elemental?
It would be an elemental.
Oh, would it?
Yep. Because Fae themselves are considered elemental.
No.
No.
It's definitely not Fae.
Okay.
It's energy.
Yep.
It's
Just
Head again.
three.
T.
Recognize
What was that? It sounded Japanese.
Oxford.
Oxford. Sure, that said Oxford then.
Bison.
yeah, me. Nice.
Now just
Ison.
Bison.
No, it said Ison.
call.
Coal.
Was that coal?
Coal.
It
Did
should.
that just say coal?
Coal.
Coal!
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh!
Penny drop then
What?
Yeah.
No.
when it
Yeah.
said coal.
Yeah.
Who's cold?
Coal
Our new friend.
Coal is our imaginary friend, Sam, if you remember.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Our Philip experiment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Flipping out.
And I spend time every day focusing on the
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was clear. Coal.
That was cool.
The penny didn't drop.
Side.
Let's
Side.
say side.
Side. Yes. If it says the
Sorry.
wife's name, I'm gonna really go woohoo.
Is there anybody there who's got a message for any of us? Any of the 4 people you see on the screen?
Otherkin.
Did that say otherkin?
Otherkin, yeah.
Yes. Isn't that the word that
That's the word that
Seago or somebody just used?
that's definitely said otherkin.
Yeah, yeah.
Daughter.
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 Doesn't he? Nine.
What message do you have for us?
Well. Cruiser.
That was the same voice twice. That was exactly the same voice twice.
Cycle.
Cycle.
Second.
Was it second or cycle?
I don't know. I had second, but
Yeah. So
these are getting hot. I'll put them down.
Yeah.
Are they getting hot?
Yeah, my hands were getting hot.
Yeah. You'll find your hands will either get warm or you'll get pins and needles in them when it's starting to work really well.
Yeah, I had tingles up here.
Yeah, I used to get them too.
Yeah.
Are you on Sealy?
Aaron. An angel.
That's an angle.
Did it
angle
say
or ankle?
I thought it said Aaron. If it did, that name came up a couple of times. Who is my friend who died in 2015?
Oh wow.
I've been working on
Whoa.
that behind the scenes, actually. Yeah, and I didn't.
That sounded like Brett then, as you were talking, Sam. And what was creepy was it sounded like a child saying Brett.
Yeah.
Well,
He definitely said other kin earlier on. I shall have to go back
Yeah.
and check that, but he definitely said other kin.
Definitely did. I heard it too.
I don't know what it means, but
It's part of the sea. It's part of the phase system.
Oh.
oh,
Are you Steely?
program.
program.
Hugo.
Julie.
Sam, that sounded like you. That sounded like Sam saying Julie.
Heard him.
Can you tell me what colour t-shirt I'm wearing?
So, hockey. Swim.
Swim.
Marquee Swim.
Marky could have been the person's name.
Could be.
Decca.
That sounded like it said Danka,
The two.
which is German for thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I got German this morning. German responses this morning. I got a 9 as a no to a response on a recording I done this morning, and the last couple of days I've had German responses as well.
Danke
We've
is
had
definitely
multiple.
thank you in German.
We've had multiple languages before.
Yeah. We had German last week.
And Japanese.
We had German
Yeah.
and Japanese last week.
Edge's back.
Achoo.
Achoo.
Yeah,
Bless you.
Bless you.
Do you get sinus problems on the other side as well?
No, we didn't whisper.
No, definitely not.
Nope.
Can you tell us what colour jumper Julie's wearing?
Number 3. Yes. She's
Luna just heard you asked. I definitely didn't hear a whisper.
No.
Gonna have to look back on that tomorrow and see what, check the timestamp around when
30.
That's dirty. Did that say dirty or 30?
30.
I thought
30.
30.
May not be relevant. May or may not. I don't know.
Pluto?
Well, I'll laugh if Mickey Mouse comes through now.
Ed.
Ed again.
Lisa.
Luna says it could have been dirty. I couldn't tell whether it was dirty or 30.
Dirty 30.
Dirty 30s.
Can you
Yeah,
name any of the
30.
communicators that are on the TV screen in front of me, please? If you can hear me.
Bro.
Can anybody on the box tell me what is embroidered on the back of my chair? And none of you know the answer to that.
No.
When,
Just leave them in the basket.
No, cut.
Can you tell me the word that is written on the back of my chair in it? Well, embroidered on.
Yeah.
Did that say wait?
started with a W, but I couldn't be sure. Wait or Wayne?
Oh, they're playing us the ukulele.
That was very playful. Beer first.
Chew it.
Say chew it.
No, that just said my location.
Chew it.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh,
I'll
Our
put it in
spiritual
the.
doxer.
I'll put it here. Hang on. It's trying to dox me. There you go.
See?
Yeah, because I always
Yeah.
say that sounds Egyptian.
Mm-hmm. That's what it said.
Ooh.
ooh. Now we're all got attentive. Look, we're all shifting in our chairs, moving forward.
What's that?
Have you been to the town where Julie lives?
Evelyn heard it too.
That's a funny thing to come through on a spirit box in Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not technically even a word over here.
No.
So,
Have you got a message for Julie?
He's coming over watching you. Does Julie sleep naked? I want to see if it answers.
I think it said no.
Because I don't.
Computer says no.
Not this time of year.
Winter.
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 It is winter.
Ooh, it is winter.
Ask
And
it what
It's
happened
actually
here a couple days
it's
ago.
summer over here now, so it wouldn't be saying winter over here anyway.
Yeah.
We're in summer. If you can see me sitting here now, can you tell me what animal is on top of my little wooden box where I keep my pendulum? There's a little brass animal on top. Can you have a look and tell me what it is? I'll pull it out for you so you can see. There you go.
Here's a
Sam.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sam. That was definitely Sam then.
Yeah. I'd like you to talk to my friends tonight instead of me, if that's okay.
Mo.
Don't say no. Or slow.
You see, I'm kind of asking too many questions because then I'll end up taking over the session, sort of thing. That's why I'm staying quiet.
That's all right.
Because I'm doing
as long
sessions
as we get
every single day. You know?
Would that impact on the dizzy spell, Sam?
What's that?
Would that impact on those dizzy spells, or no?
No, not really. I've had an attack over putting together some software where I put in very sort of dangerous frequencies, sort of thing. But I don't think in general doing spirit box sessions, those kind of frequencies are causing it, you know?
Yep.
You know, I went through a bit of a stressful time and that probably triggered it, you know?
Sam, can you ask how many spirits there are? Or ask how many are trying to communicate? Because I never like saying spirits because we never
Can you
know
tell
who
me
spirits they're talking to.
how many's communicating with us tonight? Can you give us a number, please?
Not.
Sounded like your area again.
It doesn't surprise me.
Sam. Sam again.
Yes, I'm here. I'm just wondering how many's communicating tonight. There was 8 this morning. How many's tonight? There's a few people here that want to ask a few questions of you, if you don't mind. So can you tell me how many communicators are coming through? It's actually not behaving very well tonight. I can't get it into a proper direct response mode. Because normally I wouldn't have that radio lead, you know, but so all we can work with tonight, you know what I mean? But we're getting stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh, yes. Hi, Jeff.
And Manny's here to talk to Julie, Deb, and Brad.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oui.
Are you people who have passed on?
Horrific.
Let's say horrific.
Horrific.
Yeah, I thought that's what it said. What's horrific? Looks like Deb just accidentally knocked the connection off. I'll wait for it to come back and hear us back. What did you do?
I'm buggered if I know.
You just missed. You just said horrific.
Horrific.
Yeah, very clearly.
The only thing is, what's it in relevance to? Do you know?
Indeed.
My best.
Can you tell us what's horrific, please? You know what Julie's doing, don't you?
Probably no. She's probably You're cruel. I think the kids are starting to get up.
Tripping.
Tripping. Did that say
Tripping?
tripping?
That's what I thought. I think she's out tripping.
We all know what Julie's been doing when she comes back.
Oh, hello, sweetie. Hello, sweetie. How are ya? Oh, that's it. Up on the back of Mum's chair.
Badly needs a haircut.
Yes, there you go. It definitely said tripping.
Grandma. Twin.
That was a bit.
Luna.
You were tripping Brett for doing Julie like that, lol.
Good.
I see what you're doing.
Hope you wiped.
It was actually
I
an
made a
audio.
drink. Huh?
It was actually his audio of watering the lettuce.
Oh, was he playing that again, was he?
Oh, yes.
With the nice little plopping sounds.
Oh, you're so kind, Brett.
While you were gone, it said horrific and tripping.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Tripping came through clear as. Many people heard it.
Maybe Brett's tripping out.
That's what Luna said.
I just saw that. Nothing else interesting?
Not as yet.
Hey, Luna.
Just so you all know, guys, next week we're doing the outside, and I've just spelt it wrong. Typical. I can't get myself in time, mate. We're doing the How Psychic Are You contest next week. So basically, you get here early. There's going to be a series of interactive psychic tests on the stream for everybody to join in and do, and then we crown somebody Psychic of the Month at the end of it.
Should be good fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Luna says, and it was horrific that he done that. Laughed my ass off.
I'm traumatized now.
The beep.
Did that say? Is that like Roadrunner? Beep beep.
Do you like the Looney Tunes cartoon?
Who's tripping hands up?
Oh. We're just.
Yeah, it's always fun, Luna. It's always fun, the How Psychic Are You competition. Sam won it the first time we did it, believe it or not, by a long mark.
And I remember losing by a long mark.
Mark on the second time, yeah.
Yeah.
Like me.
Excuse me.
Julie, are the kids up?
Yeah, that's Charlotte talking.
Yeah, I could hear a child voice.
Shut up, Charlotte! Or it's the chloroform.
I was just looking at Fifi. She's sitting there staring at the crying boy painting. Is she staring at the painting or something else?
Probably wondering where the dog treats are.
At least she was looking at the ceiling fan.
Oh, okay.
Same Pat, I'm as psychic as a cardboard box, but I can't take part anyway because I know all
I'm
the
with
answers.
Pat. Yep.
I think that last experiment we did proves otherwise. I think you guys definitely have something there.
That was weird. That was weird when we did that because it was just one image after another popping in, and I was just whatever popped into my head, it just came out my mouth, sort of thing, and it was just like a Rolodex flipping round of images, and I'm just saying them as I saw them.
Yeah.
Sure.
As I said after the stream, I was really sorry that I didn't mention, because I couldn't determine whether it was me or an image of the pentagram.
Yeah, that was why I just said whatever popped into my head, whether it was me or not.
Yeah.
I couldn't decipher it, so I never mentioned it.
Did that say ashes?
And then when I saw ashes,
Because I had ashes in the cauldron with the pentagram on it.
yeah.
Isn't
The
it
only thing I got
ironic,
was
though?
salt.
Isn't it ironic as well that we didn't tell anyone or show anyone what we chose, yet some of our things were connected in a way, like the beach theme and that?
Yep.
That was crazy.
Yeah, Luna, they were literally just coming to my head, and I was just saying them. But I kept going back to the beach constantly. I kept seeing, and it was exactly the same scene every time. It was the cove with the rocks jutting out into the sea. And I did actually think lighthouse at one point and didn't say it. I wish I had it done.
Well, you were picking up the rocks from Sam's trip too.
And the log on the beach.
Yeah, that's right. And the log on the beach.
Yeah.
Where they sat the last time they did an investigation there.
Yep. Can you tell us the name of Sam's dog?
Hi, Natalie.
Patient.
Sam. Yeah, Sam's dog. Do you know her name?
If it comes out with pain in the ass, it's relevant. Amongst other things. All right. Have you loads of names? There we are.
Well, Kaya answers to Coo and Cuckoo because I always call her Cuckoo and Coco.
Oh.
I did make a quick picture of Kaya last night and stuck it on Facebook.
I thought that was a beauty.
Yeah, well, it was beautiful.
She's a Japanese Shiba Inu, so I overlaid it over Mount Fuji.
And the purple made it pop.
Yeah, the color and it was a top shot.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
You've made some fantastic images this week.
Yeah, you have. That's brilliant. You got a talent for that, Brett.
You do. You've missed your calling, I think.
Yeah.
Graphic artwork.
I might do an exhibition of it one day on the channel.
You should. That'd be beautiful.
Indeed. What a... No?
Yeah, Luna, I did actually, when because it was with the rocks jutting out into the sea, at one point I actually thought, oh, that'd be an ideal spot for a lighthouse, and I never said it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting after the stream when we all said different things that we got, we never mentioned. And we all said it.
Who's there, Kaya?
Something with a K. It had something with a K, but I couldn't make it out.
Deep? Did that say deep?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a man's voice. Deep.
I think we've got a bloody hippie tonight. Deep and tripping.
Can you tell us?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Maybe we're channeling Alex Crowley.
It was funny because before I started the stream, I was listening to Adele. I played Rolling in the Deep before the stream started.
I love that song. Love that song.
Good song. I like the clip to that.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time I saw that and heard it. I
Right.
thought, man, this woman, this young girl's got a voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a wicked clip.
My favourite one of hers, though, is Set Fire to the Rain.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Is she still singing?
not
Who
at the
would have?
moment.
She hasn't
She-
done
she
anything
just-
for a little while.
She goes through phases where she'll release an album and then she won't release one for years, and then she releases it and she just names it after her age.
I
Yeah.
think she had problems with her voice.
She's lost
She
all
did.
the weight as well. She's skinny again now.
Yeah, and she had a major breakup. Her marriage
Mhm.
broke up and stuff too.
Yeah.
She lost
Yeah.
weight. Yeah,
Did it just say Luna?
Luna. We had Luna earlier too.
We had
Dog.
Luna.
Yes.
I think we had Dog. We had
Claire.
Luna
Yeah.
last week as well.
What dog can you see? What's their name? Do you know their name?
Fifi?
That's I thought it said
Fifi.
Fifi.
That
I
said
know
Fifi.
that earlier. Oh,
I'm using my bad ear to listen, so I can't hear.
That was in the background. It said Fifi. He went,
yeah.
Fifi.
It really, no, Sam, it really did, Doc.
It said
Yeah.
Fifi.
If that dog farts now, you're dead.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, big time.
Out like a liar.
Yeah. The back of Sam's hair will just blow.
You'll see the Fifi's tail lift and Sam will just
Yeah. Rod?
Is there anybody there who's got a message for Luna? That definitely said Fifi.
It
Oh, yeah,
genuinely did.
Yeah, we all heard that one.
Yeah.
When you asked about a question for Luna, there was a soft child's voice.
Is there anybody who's got a message for anybody who is currently in the chat? Can you see the names of the people in the chat?
They might
If you've got a
understand
message
chat.
for anybody in the chat,
They might understand chat. They might
well,
names
the
on
are obviously-
names
yeah,
on the screen.
Yeah,
Can you see any of the names on the screen? Have we got a message for any name that's on my TV screen right now?
they might not know TV screen either, Sam.
I don't even say
Depending on
REM.
what all they have.
Do you know when people say touch the REM pod? I'm thinking,
Yeah.
you know, they might even understand REM pod, so I just say
Yeah.
bed.
So,
Did that say some or
I thought it said Bill. No, that's
that sounded like Mom?
yeah,
Mom?
Mum.
Mum.
Should Julie burn all the dolls with Sam Spirit?
Should I what?
Burn your doll.
Nothing.
this.
Yes, I definitely said yes then.
You
That
tell me
bright.
it's burning my dolls.
Dude.
The bridal doll is right in front of me with that dead eyes.
I wouldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep with them things in the house. No way.
No.
Oh, I'm used to them at this stage. I just don't like looking at them.
I'm
Shut
still
up,
waiting
Jackie
for my
said yes.
music one to turn on. I'll be laying in bed one night and I'll hear the music start playing.
Look what Evelyn's just put, Brett.
I know, I can see it.
Did it just say Mary? Is there a Mary that has
Hello.
is that Mary your name or
That sounded like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
me?
Is there
No,
a
that
Mary?
sounded like me. That sounded like my voice on the box.
Oh. Who's mimicking Brett's voice? Can you come through?
Has anybody got a message for Mary? If it says Mary loves Dick now, I'm closing this broadcast.
Oh God. Mary loves me.
Go away, Derek.
Mary had a little lamb.
And
She
Dick
kept
was
it in a
Looks
bucket.
like a charcoal.
No, she kept it in a bucket because every time she let it out, the bulldog tried to get it.
Hi, Knox.
Oh God, that's a bit rough.
I know.
Oh, I'm so
I'm
sorry.
so sorry.
Oh, it's
Sorry to hear that. No,
At the same time.
Indy.
did that say Brett?
Chris
And then
said Brett
Indy.
before and then Wendy.
Oh, Wendy, was it?
Yeah, I thought so. My deepest condolences, Knox.
I
Yeah.
was just writing that, Deb.
Oh, sorry. Honestly.
Twice. We've said the same thing. That's all right.
Yes, I'm gonna have to adjust that Nightbot. It's a bit over aggressive with emojis.
Is actress.
That sounded like Empress.
Yeah, it sounded like Empress.
Okay.
Who was that?
No idea.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that spirits can be telepathic and know what you're thinking?
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Can someone come through the box and tell me what I am thinking? I'm thinking of a being.
Of a what?
A
Of a
being.
Oh,
A being. I thought
A
you said a
being.
bean.
No.
Can you link with Julie, please? Can you link with Julie?
See, she's empty-headed. The box has gone quiet. They've got in, nothing in there, nothing to say.
yeah.
Bigfoot. Luna says Bigfoot.
No.
Oh, give it up.
Mike.
Mike.
Mike. Or hi. Oh, I don't know.
Easy.
Brett.
Brett,
I thought you
yeah.
said Brett.
Yeah.
Sam, that voice does sound like that voice that keeps coming through. Definitely sounds like you again.
My
Bill?
No.
voice is probably imprinted into it at this stage. I've done that many sessions.
That's interesting because my granddad was called Bill. His name was William, but he was only ever known as Bill. Do you know what's really odd? I have never had a member of my family come through on a box or on a Ouija board or anything. I have never had a single
Neither of us.
communication from any of my family.
And I've lost a lot of family.
Yeah, and I have.
I've had my
You know,
friends.
I've
Yeah.
lost 4 brothers and sisters. Never had contact off any of them.
My friend's name come up the last couple of days, a couple of times, and I didn't actually bring it up.
Yeah.
I just says, can you name my friend's name? Straight away, it just came up with the name.
Wow.
Who died in 2015, and this is why I sort of stepped into the paranormal. You know,
Good top.
one of the reasons. You know.
Yeah.
It was the one thing that sort of got me interested. That's why I started looking at stuff on the TV first, and before I actually read that your name come up again.
It's amazing that sometimes when you need that little nudge, something small to let you know that they're there.
You know, Brett isn't a popular name, so why would it be coming up on the box? So how can somebody dismiss it? You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I've heard it 3 or 4 times tonight.
Oh, more than that.
I have said this before, Knox, as I've said this before, but I have had a cousin and his wife come through 3 times. Yeah, I've done Ouija boards and stuff like this for 40 years, and not once have I had a single communication. Did that say shit?
I don't know. Psychosomatic,
I
that
heard
one.
this.
And I've not once had a single message from any member of my family, not once. Oh, that was a goat. Satan's here.
Al Desmond.
Yeah,
David.
David. Yes.
Yeah, see,
Knox.
go. That's right. It definitely sounded like shit to me.
Do you know, when you're thinking about old school, we should do a TV session some night.
Yeah, we should do.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Knox, earlier, in relation to Evelyn's comment, my grandmother and my uncle, Uncle Tony, who I was very, very close with, both of them, came through. And we had quite a conversation.
Yeah, on more than one device.
Yeah. And people are seeing orbs and all sorts of things behind me tonight. So,
Yeah.
That was definitely an orb that flew over your shoulder at the beginning, and it was big.
Yeah.
yeah. You and a number of others in the stream saw it. I haven't.
And then Julie had that flash, and I haven't seen that flash on your camera again all night.
No, I've been watching that as well.
And it's been glitching all night, so if it was that, you should have seen it again.
Has anybody scribbled anything interesting on their paper on the panel or and
Yeah, I've been scribbling.
Not me.
I've got.
Oh, it's interesting. I got that 10. Oh, pardon me.
I'll have to watch it back after.
Yeah, so I'll watch it back later on, tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll show you at the end.
Holy cow!
Interesting.
Well, that actually looks like Fifi.
Which one? What, the whole thing?
Yeah.
I got a couple of interesting things. It's like a star
Luna
thing.
says her ex-boyfriend, who does not have a real popular name, has been coming through last few times. He even answered stuff only he would know. His name is Kip.
Kip.
That's something you
Wow.
ain't gonna hear very often through the radio.
No, not at all. That's a really specific name. And not common. Yeah, well, and we're always connected to our ancestors and those that have come before us.
So one thing I started using is one of these. There's a line in, and the audio goes into it, and it affects the screen. This is an old, 90s.
I used to have one of them, Sam.
Wow, that's amazing, Knox.
And even if you don't, you don't have to modify it around. You could actually scan VHF and UHF on it, and there's 1 or 2 stations on it. And because the signal is weak, it'll just keep scanning. Because it's actually looking for TV stations, strong TV stations, and it's not going to find it. Because, we've turned to digital, like.
Yeah.
These are the ones that I'm actually using, and they cost less than a tenner. So you got a sort of a VHF, UHF spirit box with a TV screen on it.
Yeah.
And you
cool.
can connect
one of them.
You can connect your spirit box into it,
Wow.
I bought 2 of these, because people don't want them because they're
Knox says his cousin and his wife both said her name 2 minutes apart while I was at the grave. That's really interesting.
Yeah. Actually, it is quite common in our culture, Luna, in Aboriginal culture, Indigenous culture, for connection through bloodlines to last beyond life itself. That's why we always refer to our ancestors and our elders, those past, present, and future, when we do welcome to country.
Who's rustling? Can you hear that?
What noise?
I can hear it, but I'm not moving.
It's not me. It's like a crunchy rustling noise. Leaf? Yeah, like a leaf.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that, but I just assumed somebody was rolling a smoke.
No, here's my hands.
I'm sitting still.
We all were. That's where I was looking to see if any of us were moving.
Even the girls.
It sounded like it was close to a mic.
Yeah.
The dog's lying behind me.
My girls are eating brekkie. They're quiet, so.
When you've got a leaf that's gone dry and you
and you rub it together. Leaves. I got a branch that broke off in the storm the other day from one of the gum trees in the park across the road. And I've brought it over to next time I light the fire so that I can do a smoking ceremony for cleansing. Not that it needs it, but with gum leaves.
Maybe they're telling you need to do that.
Yeah.
See, I said I had an old friend of mine come through on a stream I was watching a few years back. Bassist, ex-military guy, said my name and a few things he used to always say. Voice was so clear. Yeah,
wow.
I've heard of a lot of people who said not only has the message been, relevant, that they've recognised the voice. It is quite common. Seago, believe it or not.
That
where
just
they've
said
actually heard. Yeah, I heard it. Where they say,
what is that?
where they speak in their actual voice.
Deb. Very
clear. I mentioned gum leaves and my name comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I need people in the chat now saying they could hear it on the stream as well. It definitely sounded like somebody had got something dry and crispy close to the mic and they were squeezing it.
crinkly.
My definitely wasn't moving.
None of us are moving. That's what I was looking.
Whoever we're communicating with, do I need to do a cleansing on my house, please?
I don't know.
See, but that's a good sign, Seago. The fact you actually stopped to consider pareidolia is a good sign, because at least you've considered it first before jumping straight to the paranormal conclusion, which is what I always say to people. Always look for natural solutions before you jump to the to the paranormal. If you can't rule it out, then it's it's paranormal.
Yeah, in normal response mode, very, very little comes through. You ask a question, a lot of the time you'll actually get an answer that's relevant to what you're saying, but they don't have much of a window to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're not going through snippets of audio like with a lot of other boxes. It's just you ask a question, it comes. This scan, it goes beyond the fastest scan there is. It possibly is a kind of an overclocking of the system, but it was actually discovered by accident. So it was actually the guy who made the box, his friend discovered the mode, and I actually discovered the mode before I was even told about it. By messing around with the switches and stuff. But I can't seem to get it properly tonight, if you know what I mean.
So what being were you thinking of earlier, Julie?
The Nephilim.
Ah, interesting.
The demigod giants.
That's them.
Yep.
What to eat?
Why does it look like Fifi's in that painting behind you? Does it look like you're making the painting then?
Yeah.
No. She's so cute.
I've done well tonight. Kaya sat down and ain't sang to me to go out.
She's done real good. She stays close to you, doesn't she?
Not very often, actually. I think she's begging for.
Who Kaya stays close to me?
Yeah.
Or Fifi? Yeah, Kaya's never far from me. Never.
Yeah. She usually
Coco will bugger off in the
you.
kitchen. Coco's been behind me all night. You can see her there.
Yeah.
But she'll normally bugger off into the kitchen and lie down, but Kaya's never far away.
Yeah.
Seago said he had such a unique personality, strong fella, charismatic, a true gentleman too. There were a few things he used to say at rehearsals, and they came through. See, this happens a lot, not only with spirit boxes, but with people who have readings with mediums and stuff. If you can get the personality coming through as well as the wording, that's when, for me, it starts to get a bit more convincing.
Yeah, you get that confirmation.
Yeah, there's you get the sense of a personality with them.
Yep. I'd love to hear from my nan one day. I really would.
I would.
Yeah.
The one place, I've lost 4 brothers and sisters technically, but if I could talk to anybody, it would be my nan.
Yeah.
It would be my nan.
I was really close to mine.
Yeah, I was to mine.
Yeah.
Very true, Luna. Very true, Luna.
That's
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
I'm going to mute. I need to make another coffee. It's getting a bit chilly now that the sun's coming up.
Okay.
Need something warm.
Okay.
You say. No. Very sweet.
Leaky faucet.
You're saying Deb's got a leaky faucet?
No, Seago said it. Leaky
That's what I
faucet.
said. That's what I'm looking at, Seago.
Free.
That's
Sorry.
true.
Over.
Wait.
Info.
Brett.
Brett again.
Look
I
up.
sound like Sam saying it too.
I've heard
Okay.
Sam's voice through that radio about 5 or 6 times tonight.
You start, you might get them. Come here.
Country. Hey.
That sounded like a kid then, Sam.
Yeah, and it's just past midnight.
Yeah.
Here in the UK and Ireland.
Exam. Is it this?
You have to heads up.
I actually missed it.
One. That's. Daddy.
Is there anybody on the box who's got a message for me? Because my name's come through a lot tonight.
Which one?
Which one?
Yeah.
Has anyone got a message for me, Brett?
No.
I say no.
Yeah.
Straightforward.
Straight away.
Anyone have a message for me?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Hazel. No. Please.
Does anybody have a message for Sam?
Please. No.
Say it again.
Racist.
That sounded like racist.
Oh God. He's Ed racist.
Do you mind if I go and have a cup of tea? It's only going to take about 30 seconds.
Yeah, no problem. If you want a drink, Sam, go and grab one.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The kettle is not that far away from me, so
No,
it's
maybe
going to be,
I went to the loo earlier.
it's going to be a little bit noisy for about 30 seconds. That's about
That's
it.
okay.
You know, you can ask away questions there while I'm.
We can make it sound like nice while you're at the kettle.
Turn up.
I'm all alone. Nobody to talk to.
Your Brett, Julie, and Deb's contacting you. Can you communicate with them? Yes. Thanks.
That is really weird. Can you hear that, Julie? That sounded robotic.
Through the box.
Yeah.
Mm. That was weird.
What was that?
I got no idea. Ghost car?
There was this really strange noise coming from Sam's kitchen. Then Judge Judy must always be hungry. She's constantly on about bologna in the background.
Oh god.
That is right. That's really robotic sounding.
Mm.
For what?
4. Can you see that there's 4 of us here?
Yeah, it is sounding robotic.
There's definitely something robotic coming through.
Robotic sometimes means fragmented communication, where a lot of snippets is used to make up the words.
Yeah.
So it sounds abnormal. It often happens in sentences. It's called fragmented communication, where they jigsaw together the frequencies to make those words that make up that sentences, and they may not fully match, and that's why you get that robotic sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More.
Mike?
That sounded like a cup.
Sound like a what?
It sounded just before it said Mike. It sounded like it said cup.
Cup.
Well, if it said cup, I just put the cup in front of me.
Yeah, your cup of tea.
You know.
Can you tell us where Deb is?
Sorry about the crinkle in there.
That's all right.
Happy.
Fucking scared the shit out of me. Fucking hell.
It was. Brett, get ready, Brett. Evelyn.
Colin.
Did you hear it say Evelyn then?
Yeah. Yep.
Clear as a bell.
Shit, I missed it.
Someone got a message for Jackie? Well, Deb looks froze to death.
No, just my hands. Just a little bit.
Ask them.
Ask me, yeah. Do you have a question for someone, Evelyn?
Relation.
Look on my face. I get excited.
Yeah. Did you just say a relation?
Yeah, Evelyn, I thought it said ask me too.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
They're waiting
Ask
for your
your-
question, Evelyn.
Ask your question, Jack.
Do it.
Well, We'll
Yeah.
get Sam to ask the question when she types it.
Yep.
Sum it up.
Seagull.
That definitely sounds
Seagull?
like you, Sam. And it said Seago. It did say Seago.
Yeah.
Seagulls. It didn't even sound like seagull. It said
No,
seagull.
it said Seago. It was Seago.
There's Evelyn's question.
Question.
That's it.
Do you want to read it out, Sam?
That's it. Did it say that's it?
Will Jackie get a spirited doll at her house to live with her?
Will Jackie get a spirited doll at her house to live with her? Doll. Yes.
Doll.
Yes, Jackie's asking about doll.
Sound like it said us.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'm asking about a doll. And it says us.
Yeah, I wouldn't be getting a bloody doll if it said us.
No.
I even know for the bloody things.
You know.
Deal.
It could very well be Seago.
Yeah. I wouldn't be getting a doll and letting anything in, Evelyn, if I was you. Just in my humble opinion.
No, I wouldn't be getting one here either.
I have loads of dolls, and
as far as I'm concerned, they should all be put in a big pile and then pour fuel on them and flick a match on.
Yep.
I have loads of dolls, and let's say it's not like what it's like on the TV. You know what I mean?
As far as I'm concerned, anybody who likes dolls has got psychological problems.
Well, I must be really, in trouble.
Me and you, Sam.
Oh, there's dolls in cases, and there's 3 over here. There's flipping.
Sam collects all the ugly, creepy ones.
Yeah,
there's 5 over here.
Got a good collection.
There's a hall full of them. There's a bedroom with suitcases with dolls in them.
That is actually a good point, Luna. I would not get one as it wants you to not a good sign. No, I wouldn't either.
No.
Haunted.
Haunted what?
Haunted.
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 She was just talking about her dolls.
Yeah.
Sam was.
It sounds like they're a bit too keen for you to get a doll.
Yeah.
Jack. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think Luna's on the money there.
This spirit box is only about 6 inches away from the bridal doll.
Alexa, make the living room blue. Thank you. Sorry, I'm doing a bit.
Mood lighting.
That's a bit too blue.
Turn it green. Turn it really
Alexa,
light.
make the living room green. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, radioactive.
Radioactive breath.
On the old.
Oh no, it's the Hulk. He's green.
It's covered in radiation.
Do you know green is
Gamma.
Do you know why green was used in night vision? Is because you can see more tones.
Yeah. See, a lot of people think night vision is actually green. It's not. Night vision is red. They just convert it to green because it's easier on the eye.
Yeah.
And technically, if they could have got away with it, they would have used yellow. because yellow is the last. If anybody's going blind, yellow is the last color a person can see. Yellow
really?
is yeah. That's why your safety bars and everything are always yellow.
They're all yellow.
Because the human eye is designed to see the color yellow more than any other.
Did you have
It's
breakfast?
true.
Okay, off you go.
What's your favorite color?
Oh, that's a dog then. I don't think dog's the color.
Oh,
That's a better one.
Can you pick a favorite color?
Pink.
Alexa, make the desk light white.
really?
I don't know how to
Alexa, stop.
to that setting.
Alexa, make the desk light white.
Stan?
Are you going to sulk now?
I'm here.
Alexa, turn the desk light white.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's gone funny now.
Alexa, turn the lights red.
Alexa, make the living room red.
Okay.
There you go. I look like an hooker now.
Oh, that's
Okay.
nasty. Yeah,
Da, da,
that's
da, da,
exactly.
da.
Desmond, it is in the house.
I am not making my house pink. Alexa,
No.
make the room pink.
Give me some pink bits, Alexa.
Which one?
Living room.
Okay.
Pig.
Alexa, stop.
Did I say pink?
Yeah.
I think it's pink.
It said pink.
Yeah. Alexa, make the living room pink.
Okay.
There you go. Pink.
Oh, that's
There you go
cool.
with pink.
Yeah, I don't get excited because I'm afraid to scare them away. I just sort of keep a cool head. Sometimes I get really, really direct responses. And sometimes it's hard not to sort of get excited and that.
You'll have to excuse the lighting. I had to turn it down. It was starting to dazzle me a bit.
What other colours do you like?
Orange, bold
What other
colours.
color? Oh, God. Alexa, make the living room orange. Alexa, make the living room orange.
The universe sent me a message.
Okay.
There you go.
I got a Facebook notification from someone called Nephilim.
To take.
You're kidding.
No,
You're joking.
I'm not. No. On here. Request from Charlotte to, because they're on PlayStation. See if you can see it. See Nephilim? Facebook Nephilim?
Yeah, it's gone off.
Oh, I got to show my face. Oh, come on. I can do it now.
Whoa.
There we go.
Surely.
Nephilim.
Yeah, I can see it. Second
First
one down.
one. Yeah.
Right next to Raven.
Okay.
I am not asking Alexa if my house is haunted because she does weird things sometimes. Like bursts out laughing for no reason.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Well, I asked my television, is my house haunted? They'll say yes. And if you ask any more questions, it won't answer you.
Alexa, is my house haunted?
Okay. Here's Ghost Detector. Welcome to Ghost Detector. Highly advanced.
Did she just put on Ghost Detector?
Yeah.
Poltergeists and other unearthly means. To use Ghost Detector, simply say to yourself, launch Ghost Detector. I will activate my sensors and let you know if there are spirits about.
Alexa, launch Ghost Detector.
Sorry, I need to recharge Ghost Detector.
3.
45 more seconds.
3.
35 more seconds.
I don't
No,
even know
three.
that option. I didn't even know that option was on there.
What the hell?
And 3, the number 3, numerically, just came through Sam's box.
Oh, really?
That's why I said 3.
It's basically, she's basically just said to me, say launch ghost detector, and when I asked her to do it, she said, give me 45 more seconds to recharge the detector's batteries, and then she'll start looking for poltergeists in my house. That's what she just said to
that's
me.
what she said.
I'm telling you, we are when the four of us get together, we attract the most extraordinary energy I've
Hang on.
Yeah.
ever had.
Alexa, launch ghost detector.
Looks like there are no ghosts nearby.
There are no
Oh my
ghosts nearby.
You're welcome.
I didn't even know that function was on there.
Gosh,
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
that's bizarre.
If
And
it's
that
based on
that was just by reading what Jack said. Ask if your house is Luna. Sorry, ask if your house is haunted. So I didn't. She said, ask me to launch ghost detector.
Oh, that's a spin out.
if it's based on the app and the Google store, it's pure and utter shite.
Oh, I don't believe it's what but it's just weird that it's actually got something on there like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
And it
You know,
activated.
because people who are gullible-minded will actually take that as gospel. And if Alexa turns around and tells them there's a poltergeist in the house, they're going to be putting the house up for sale on the say-so of Alexa.
Oh God. Oh,
It
Alexa's
was just so coincidental with the question that was asked.
Yeah.
Is Brett's house haunted?
Catch that. Say that
Thought it
again.
just said Brett again.
It did.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, turn on cinema in living room.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to sit in the bright light. I can't sit in that orange. It's too dark.
Well, you could have put it any colour. I just like orange. But I loathe pastels. I like really bold, strong colours.
What time is it? Right, I think I'm going to wind this up. We've been on over 3 hours, believe it or not.
oh God.
Right, we're
Cool.
gonna,
Yeah. So,
is there anything you want to say before we finish?
yeah.
I want to say goodbye. I can talk to you tomorrow. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let's say gone.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I talked to.
Right,
Bye.
everybody. I'd like to say thank you for coming on and making the stream what it is. We will be back live in less than 10 hours, believe it or not,
Yeah.
on Unearthly Wanderings channel, Julie's, all four of us again. And don't forget, next week, be on time if you want to join in the Are You Psychic quiz that we're doing next week. It won't actually be hosted on StreamYards. We'll be actually hosting it on Streamlabs because I need to do it on Streamlabs. So we'll have a slightly different layout than what we've got with StreamYards next week. So everybody keep safe, and thank you very much for all your contributions tonight. You know, it's always appreciated you coming in and listening and putting questions forward and everything. You are what make the channel what it is, believe it or not. So thank you, everybody, and have a great night, everybody. You three
Bye,
supposed
everyone.
to say bye at that point.
Bye.
Thank you for coming.
Well, have a great week. See you in
Bye.
10 hours.
Bye.